Hello everybody, welcome back. I've got another Masters of the Universe video for you. Today we're going to talk about Prince Adam, the true identity of He-Man. For those who don't know, Prince Adam is given a magical sword. He holds it up and says, by the power of Grayskull, and he becomes He-Man. Much like with Clark Kent / Superman, you got to have a secret identity for your hero. They didn't do a very good job of of making Prince Adam look different from He-Man. He's basically the same exact figure, just repainted. They added the white to give him the shirt. He's got a different color scheme. They did add a cloth vest with a belt that, as you can see here, the elastic is worn out on this one. So, but he has a power sword. It's just pink. That never made any sense, but it is what it is. Moving forward in the line, when we got the 2002 series, they were smart enough to make Prince Adam completely different looking than He-Man. This one, if you look close, he kind of looks like Luke Skywalker to me. But this figure did come with a sword. Unfortunately, this loose one that I picked up did not have the sword. But just like with the He-Man from that line, it's the oversized, exaggerated sword. But this is a completely different view, or a different look for Prince Adam. And again, with this line, as with the Manny Faces figure I did in a previous video, it's not a good action figure. It's doing very good just to stand, just because of the way it's sculpted in these exaggerated poses. For 2002, it sure reminds me of some late 90s figures that they did these crazy poses on and just really made it difficult for them to stand. But he has a vest, he has a belt. He certainly hits a lot of the same cues that the vintage has as far as the way he's dressed. But other than that, it's just, just a normal looking dude who becomes He-Man. So when we get to the 2020 Origins figure, now this is the Prince Adam from the Origins figure. As you can see, he had that different head sculpt that came with that first release of He-Man. This guy was actually packaged with a Sky Sled. I do have the Sky Sled. I just didn't see a need to include it in this video since I'm just comparing the figures themselves. But I wanted to talk about him because they did a really cool job of making this new Prince Adam very much like the vintage as far as the color scheme. It's definitely got the same look and same feel to it. You do get a rubber vest this time instead of the cloth vest. You still get a pink power sword, which is still silly to me. I never understood it. But I do like the way this figure was designed. It's simply He-Man, but painted like Prince Adam, which is essentially what they did with the vintage. So he has all that articulation, just like all the other Origins figures. He can bend his elbows and turn his wrists, and you got the ankle rotation and the knee joint and the pivot at the foot, and spin at the waist. And just like all the other figures, you can take his arms off. You can take him apart at the waist and pull the boots off and pull the head off. All those things that everyone already knows about. So try not to keep harping on those particular details. All right, so probably my favorite of the bunch actually right now is this 2022 release for the 2021 Netflix series. Completely different look, completely different vibe, but you still have elements of all the Prince Adams here. He does come with the power sword, which he has the little peg hole on the back that you can store the sword on. What I like about this figure is the articulation. So you have your regular arm rotation, you have a swivel at the wrists, he has the ab crunch. It's not as strong of a spring back as some of the other figures, but it is there, it is present. But the way that the legs are on this figure seems very different from the others. You have a rotation at the knee, rotation at the foot, and the legs have quite a bit of movement. I'm not sure how that's put together, but stands really well and just got a really cool look. Okay, so let's do a quick size comparison. And I wanted to try to do a better job of showing the height. So I've got these guys lined up so you can kind of see what they look like standing next to each other. But let's go ahead and get actual measurements. So I'm going to put these guys out of the way here for a second, and we will start with our vintage Prince Adam. All right, let's see if we can get this lined up. Yeah, he is right at the 5.5 inch mark. All right, we'll move him to the side. All right, so we'll bring in the 2002. Yeah, he's just shy of the 5.5 inch mark as well. So they kept those guys right at the same height. Now we bring in the Origins figure. He's just over 5.5. Move him to the side. And our 2022 release from the CGI line, he is right at 5 inches. So that's interesting that they the scale that they went with for these figures. But Prince Adam is a basic character. He doesn't really have any special features. There's not really a whole lot to go on as far as his outfits. They're pretty basic. But it was worth putting these guys side by side just to compare. If you're a fan of the original and the Origins that are similar, or if you like the 2000X or the 2022 lines, which share a lot of the same sensibilities as far as the outfits. It's an interesting dynamic. But that's all I got for you. I just wanted to show these guys side by side. And if you guys have any opinions, what's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.